Hi everybody, and welcome to our 6th Leader to Leader webinar. Tonight we are going to be covering money earning activities, and which the abbreviation for is MEAs, and we'll also be covering higher awards, including the bronze, silver, and the gold award. And if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them in the comment section on your toolbar that's on your right-hand side of your screen. And also, tonight we have 4 handouts for you, which can also be found on your toolbar on the right-hand side of your screen. We have the MEA application guidelines. We have the Plan 2 insurance form. We have the MEA evaluation form. And we have the Silver Award checklist. And all of those forms and resources can also be found on our website, gsfct.org, under the Form and Resource Library. And you can find many other resources there as well. So if you'd like, you can save them to your computer, you can print them out, or you can refer to them during the webinar. Tonight on the panel, we have myself, Melissa Ilias, the Program Coordinator for Troop and Service Unit Support. We have Jackie Simpson-Gilson, the Senior Manager of Girl Program. We have Kari Kaplan, the Director of Membership Support for Regions 1 and 4. We have 3 experienced volunteers that have agreed to come and present and share their knowledge with you. We have Claudine Fair, we have Karen Brennan, and we have Gail Myers. Before we get started today, I did want to just go over the upcoming schedule for the upcoming Leader to Leader webinars. So on March 20th, we'll be talking about STEM and other activities and ceremony planning. On April 17th, we're going to be covering keeping girls motivated and older girl activities. And on May 15th, we'll be covering girls with special needs. And we actually have a second topic that day that has yet to be decided. So if you have any ideas of things you'd like to see covered, please let us know. You can email us at program@gsfct.org with Leader to Leader in the subject line, and let us know if you have any suggestions for topics you'd like to learn more about. And also, all the past Leader to Leader webinars are recorded and they're up on the YouTube channel if you feel like you'd like to watch the ones that you've missed. So our first presenter tonight is Claudine Fair, and she is the Trumbull Service Unit Manager, and she's going to be talking to you guys about money earning activities. So Claudine, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be able to touch base with you all about money earning activities. I like doing money earning activities with my troop, and my girls enjoy it as well. Money earning activities are effective fundraising methods in which the troop keeps all of the profits. So we use money earning activities as a way to bring our service unit together for a fun event. I'm the service unit manager for Trumbull, and we have money earning at different troops. We have a little more than 50 troops in Trumbull, and we use money earning activities as a way to bring service unit members together for a fun activity. We usually have about 1 or 2 money earning activities every month, and we have an application process because a lot of troops want to do money earning activities, and we don't want the same troop being able to continue doing the money earning activity and no other troop gets opportunity. So we do have an application process that we've adopted from the Long Hill side of our service unit. And it's great because the girls get to see that Girl Scouts are bigger than their troop. Sometimes, girls, especially when they're younger, they think that it's just, within their troop. But then when we come together for our money earning activities, they get to see that girls, Girl Scouts is a lot bigger than their troop. They see, the daisies get to see the cadets and the seniors and the ambassadors, and the senior and ambassadors and the cadets get to serve as role models for the younger girls. The older girls also develop leadership and event planning skills, and the troop leaders get to take a break. So in our service unit, we try to tie all of the money earning activities to badges. So, for example, this Thursday we have a business owner badge at our local trampoline park. So the troop leaders get to bring their troops, and the troop earns their business owner badge. So for cadets, like that's the entrepreneur badge. For brownies, that's the money manager badge, etc. So the troop leaders get to get a break, and then all the girls get together and have fun. So some of the money earning activities that we've done in our service unit or will be doing in our service unit include a first aid badge, where we will have the local EMS come in and help the girls learn first aid techniques and make first aid kits. I mentioned the business owner badge that we're having this Thursday at a local trampoline. And she talks about her experience in opening up the trampoline park and covers all the feature badge. And we have the Someone Special in Me tea and a Someone Special in Me dance. So that's where some service units call it My Favorite Guy in Me dance, etc. In our service unit, we call it the Someone Special in Me events, so that girls feel welcome to bring anyone special in their family. We also have ice. We also do an ice skating money earning activity, and we partner with the local Bowtie Cinemas to do a movie night. So we have we're having an upcoming movie night, for example, for the service unit to go see Beauty and the Beast. That's coming out in March. We just had a blanket making activity where it used to be called Project Linus, and we had probably about 100 girls from Trumbull all in making blankets for a charity. We've also done a pet badge where we've had a local veterinarians and a Trumbull animal shelter come in and talk about pets, and that tied to the Brownies pet badge and the Junior Animal Habitat badge. One of the MEAs that we recently did in December was a jewelry badge with classic creations, and Kim Lawson was fabulous. She was able to manage. We had about 100 different girls, Girl Scouts from different levels making jewelry, and our cadet troop was able to help out the younger girls and plan this money earning activity, and it turned out fabulous. The last MEA that we have is a paint night, where one of our Brownie troops teams with a painting company, Giggling Pig, and they have a paint night, and that ties to the Brownie paint badge. So Brownie leaders, or just leaders in general, whether or not they're wanting to earn their painting badge or not, they just enjoy coming together, and we usually have, like I said, about 100 girls at each money earning activity. So the way we run these is we figure out how much our cost is, and then the girls decide how much we should charge for the badge. So for example, for the jewelry badge, if Kim Lawson charges $10 per girl, we may charge $15 per girl, and that includes the cost of the badge as well as how much we have to pay for the facilitator, and then a troop keeps a profit of about $3 per girl. So, you know, the profits can add up very quickly, and a lot of the older girl troops do MEAs so that they can offset the costs of a big trip at the end of the year. I have a ambassador troop who is going on a cruise at the end of this year, and that's going to be their big, they're actually graduating pretty soon, so that's going to be their big trip, and they funded it all through MEAs and cookies and QSP. So the profits add up. So some of the recommendations I have for anyone who is interested in doing a money earning activity: one, you have to, per the MEA guidelines, you have to sell QSP and you have to sell cookies. So once you've met those requirements, and you also have to be a brownie, you have to be brownies or higher. So daisies can't do MEAs. But once, if you fit those criteria, I would encourage everyone to do a money earning activity. Some recommendations I have is, one, don't underestimate the power of the Girl Scout name. Girl Scouts has thousands of members all across the world. And when you look at how many alumni Girl Scouts has, you have millions of people who have been Girl Scouts or are currently Girl Scouts. So many people want to help the Girl Scout cause and want to help you with your Girl Scout troop. So don't underestimate the power of using the Girl Scout name. Negotiate with your vendors. When we work with some of the facilitators, etc., we let them know that we're, you know, by partnering with us, we're going to be advertising to 500 girls in our service unit and other girls in the nearby area. So that's advertising money that they do not have to do. That's a market that they may not normally reach. And when you look at the cost of running a business, advertising is significant. So by partnering with us, we're allowing them to reach a bigger audience. So utilize that fact when you're negotiating with vendors. For the most part, I don't think any vendor should, any vendor for the activities that we just looked at, I don't think any vendor should charge more than $10 per girl. And like I said, utilize the fact that you're providing free advertisements for these vendors to get them to lower the price to something that allows the troop to make a decent profit. The other recommendation I have is assigning girl roles. So money earning activities not only serve the purpose of raising money for the troop, but it also allows the girls to develop their leadership skills, their event planning skills. So you want to make sure that the girls are playing an active role in implementing the money earning activities. I have a big troop, so it's very helpful for me to assign girl roles, because that helps me to ensure that each girl has a role and each girl can take pride in the success of the event. And the last recommendation that I have is to always try to tie it to a Girl Scout badge. There's a badge for a lot of things, and if you are able to tie your money earning activity to a badge, you'll get more participation, because, you know, as Girl Scout leaders, we have lots on our plates, and leaders can usually use a break. So if you tie it to the first aid badge that every, you know, Girl Scout level has, you'll get better attendance, because leaders will say, okay, well, I was going to do the first aid badge, maybe I'll do it in conjunction with the service unit or the troop that's hosting the money earning activity. So those are some of my recommendations. Again, I encourage everyone to, if you meet the criteria, to try to do a money earning activity. I usually encourage troops to start with something simple, such as the ice skating. And then as they get better with, planning activities, they can step up to do more sophisticated things like the dance or, one of the other activities that we had listed. I think that's my last slide.
You actually have some steps next, but before that, we do have a question from one of the listeners that asks, you can only do an MEA if you sell QSP, not only selling cookies qualifies. So that's correct, that you have to do both the product sales in order to be able to do an MEA. You have to do both cookies and QSP. I just wanted to mention that. And
Thank you. So, okay, so the steps, if you're interested in hosting an MEA, remember that girls should be involved in planning and hosting the MEA as much as possible. You want to secure your location and get the appropriate approval for the location. So if you're using a school, you have to get appropriate approval from Girl Scouts to utilize the school. Then you will send your MEA application and fire, and I don't know if the fire template was included, but you want to draft the fire and you want to send that to approval to your service unit manager for approval. Once it's approved by your service unit manager, it'll be sent to your membership manager for approval. Once you have those approvals, your service unit manager will distribute the MEA flyer and roster to your service unit, and will also, if you prefer, can also assist in distributing it to nearby service units. It's a good idea to send your flyer and application for approval within the time required. So you want to give your membership manager enough time to be able to approve the flyers. And if there's any tweaks that need to occur, you want to give yourself enough time so that you can properly advertise the event. 2 weeks prior to the event, if you have non-Girl Scouts who are attending, so you can also use your MEA, for example, as a recruitment event. If you choose to utilize that option and have non-Girl Scouts attend, you want to complete and mail the supplemental insurance application and payment to your respective service center. So for regions 1 and 4 is Tracy King, and for regions 2 and 3 is Stephanie Licata.
Licata, yep.
Licata. For 1 week prior to the event, you want to make sure that you complete and send a troop trip application with copies of the troop rosters to your service unit manager and your membership manager if the MEA is an event. And then 1 week after your MEA, you have to submit an evaluation form to your membership support assistants, administrative assistants. So again, that's Tracy King for regions 1 and 4, and Stephanie Licata for regions 2 and 3.
Does anybody have any questions for Claudine right now? If anybody has questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section of your toolbar. If you think of questions later, you can still do it later. So I'll be monitoring that. So thank you, Claudine. That was great.
Hi, Melissa. It's Kari.
Okay.
Can I jump in for just a minute?
Sure.
Claudine shared probably the most important thing about doing a money earning activity, and that is keeping the girls involved. And she talks specifically, and Trumbull is great at using service unit events as a vehicle for troops and to plan money earning activities. But there are other money earning activities that you can do. A bake sale oftentimes is popular. It's something else where the girls can be involved in making the products. You just need to check and see if you've got local restrictions about how things are labeled, and that would be based on the town that you live in. Another fun money earning activity that the girls will often do is sometimes they'll want to do a car wash, and that can be something else that's fun. So while Claudine talked about events, which are great because they really involve the girls in the planning process, there are other money earning activities that are also good. But just remember, as Claudine mentioned, you want to keep the girls involved in the process for the planning and make sure that it fits into your Girl Scout program. So I just think that Trumbull does a super great job at the different events that they're running. And remember, too, that money earning activities are to generate additional funds to be used for your Girl Scout programming. So it's a really great experience, as Claudine pointed out, when the girls have an opportunity to practice their leadership skills in organizing, whether it's a money-earning event or another money-earning activity. So I just want to say super thanks to Claudine for sharing her experience in Trumbull. That's great. Thank you.
No problem.
So if anybody has any additional questions, feel free to put them in the question box. So our next presenter tonight is Karen Brennan. She is a mom to 3. She lives in Darien, Connecticut with her kids, her husband, and her dog. She is a leader for 2 troops since kindergarten, and they are now 10th grade seniors and 6th grade cadets. She served as a member of the Darien Service Unit. She's run the toy drive, camporee, and the father-daughter dance. She's a former Cub Scout den leader and pack leader, and she grew up on Long Island, and she was a Girl Scout through 5th grade, and her mom was actually her mom actually was her leader and ran the cookie program for all of Long Island. And she's going to be talking to you about her experience with the Silver and Bronze Awards. So whenever you're ready, Karen.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. I love Girl Scouts, as you can tell from my picture before then, which is a little outdated, but I'm what I like to call an equal opportunity mom. So I've done Scouts with all 3 of my kids, and it's just been an amazing experience and so rewarding, and it's my one-on-one time with each of them. So when they go off with their dad for sports, I get to do this with them. And I love it. I've been through now the Bronze Award twice, first with my older daughter and her troop, and then again just recently with my younger daughter. So that's the one I know the best. I think it's a great place to cut your teeth on in terms of a project that you can do easily with the whole troop. You can certainly, if you have a really big troop, you can break into smaller groups, but I find that my experience has been that the Bronze Award is a great one to do as a whole troop because it gives you an opportunity to start to teach those basic skills of brainstorming and planning and money earning activities and research and actually implementing the project sort of together as a group. There's opportunities along the way to send the kids off and let them do their own thing, and I'll talk about that a little bit. And that's a stepping stone to then silver, which they need to be much more independent for. You're letting them go. It's not as much leader driven, and then that sets bigger stepping stone to gold, which my oldest daughter is just starting. So I'm really looking forward to the presenter who's going to do that. So for my first Bronze Award project, I'm big on brainstorming. I like to put a lot of paper on the wall, let the girls come up, put their ideas up, and then do a lot of voting with stickers and Post-its and try to get, narrowed down to that sort of one focus. In the case of this first troop, it was between cancer was a big focus for them and animals. And then they settled on sort of helping animals with cancer, so it was kind of funny how it came around. Some of the girls did an internet search that led us to the Connecticut Humane Society, and it was just an amazing sort of luck stroke where a parent called up to the Connecticut Humane Society. We thought there was a local chapter here in Darien. It had just recently closed, but the one that was up in Milford or Torrington, they invited us up on it just happened to be one of those holidays for school or a professional development day, and we got to spend over half the day touring the facility, seeing the food bank, going to the vet area, seeing where the animals come in and are processed, and they like ran a mock board meeting for us. It was just a really great hands-on experience where we learned so much and then really created an action plan based on the things that they were telling us that they needed. And we brought that home and we did a meeting and we did some brainstorming. Again, always sort of finding out what do the girls really love and what do they want to do. They had seen the Cub Scouts doing the food drives at Thanksgiving time, and they said, well, can't we run a pet food drive where we can be at supermarkets and ask for pet food or money for pet food? We actually only collected the pet food. We did do a money earning activity for that bronze award where we used the opportunity to earn our sewing badge. So we made cat blankets and toys. All of the cat carriers up at the Humane Society, they said that they liked blankets for the cats and they didn't ever have enough of those. And so the girls heard that and responded to that and said, we've always wanted to learn to sew. We had a bunch of moms that had sewing machines. We brought 12 machines in. We were teaching the girls. So it was just sort of a great bonus there. And at the end of the project, we were able to donate the blankets, the toys we made, and the food. And then the girls decided to donate the rest of the money that they had raised specifically to vaccinations, because that's what the Humane Society had said that they needed. One of the things that we did that's really important, and I thought Claudine did a good job, with the money earning activities, it's really important that you're not out there saying you're raising money for the Humane Society. You're out there talking about you're raising money for your Girl Scout troop. How you then decide to use it later is your choice. You work with the girls to, again, do that brainstorming. But you can't be out there publicly saying, I'm raising money for the Humane Society. Even though we knew somehow we were going to spend it on them, we talked about the Humane Society, but we actively said this was a project we were doing to earn our award, so we focused it on ourselves. In the next slide, you can see, I'll just quickly say that my next troop, literacy was really important for them, and reading, and we were able to find a program called the African Library Project, which if you collect 1,000 books and raise $500 for the shipping and the materials, you can start a library in an African country, and that was very exciting to us, really because we were making a sustainable impact difference in the world. We were going to give the gift of reading to children that really, many of which don't become adults because they die, frankly, in these impoverished countries. They don't have the education that our kids have. They don't have the ability to even have a parent who could read a medicine bottle. We did a lot of research on literacy. It was a topic the kids were talking a lot about at school. So it was something they brought to me and they said, we've just got to make a difference in this way. We did a lot of money, creative money raising activities through chores, lemonade sales, tag sales, things that are really easy to make money you know, on their own or with very little spending on your part. I cannot say enough about how easy and fun a bake sale is. The girls make the posters. They decide what they want to bake. They all create it at home on their own to do a bake sale, and you get all the reward back. And people just love and love to buy, and you've just got to find the right, whether it's a series of basketball games on a Saturday morning, or if it's an arts and crafts sale or some kind of arts festival, which is when we like to do ours. But I just love running bake sales because they're just quick money makers and you don't have to spend a lot of money. So that was a great project for us, and we worked with the community to collect the books, sort the books, label the books, stuff the books into boxes. It took an enormous amount of time, but everybody had a part in it, and that's another sort of nice component about it. We were able to sort of split up into teams. We had packers, we had labelers, everybody had a role, and it was great fun and very rewarding. So I highly recommend that project. And then lastly, I did my silver award.
Hey Karen, before we move on to the silver award, we actually have a question. It's how much does a troop make from an MEA? So I feel like both you and Claudine can sort of give some insight about that.
Well, I'll just say, and then I'll answer, and then I'll let Claudine answer. For our bake sale, we've made as much as $300, and for the craft sale, we actually made a lot for the craft sale, but then it was an interesting lesson in, money out, because then we had to pay back the moms who had gone and bought all the craft materials, and the girls were just utterly crushed that they only came away with about $150, where they had made, I think $600 that day.
Mm-hmm.
But then they sort of learned a nice economic lesson as a result. So I'll let Claudine answer.
Sure. For some of our events, I think one of the events I think which so the blanket badge, I think they earn maybe $1 or $2 per person. So if we had 80 to 100 people, they would make about $160, 160 to $200. For the business badge, we're making probably about $1,500, and for the dances, we make about $1,500. So I would say $1,500 to $2,000 is pretty much, I think, the highest that I've seen troops earn for a money earning activity, and that is, Karen mentioned, you have to subtract your expenses. So the takeaway profit, once you've subtracted your expenses, I think the highest I've seen is $2,000, which isn't bad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hi, it's Kari. I'm going to jump in here too. There is an evaluation form when your money earning is done. Within 2 weeks after, we ask you to fill out a evaluation form to let us know how it went, sort of the lessons learned. And based on those evaluation forms that we get back into the council office, I would say Claudine's probably right on. Often the Someone Special in Me dances are probably the most lucrative money earning events, and they can, net, depending on how big it is and those kinds of things, but they can net close to 2,000 or even sometimes more than that. But again, there's a lot of planning that goes into that, so those are normally the older girl troops. But so I would say, you get a good range. It really just depends on what it is that you're doing. Thanks for letting me jump in.
You're welcome.
So we then progress to the Silver Award, which you either do as an individual girl or you do in small groups of 4. As luck would have it, my troop at that point, there was some attrition because it's middle school and that tends to happen. So we had a small group. If we had been bigger, we probably would have done 2 different projects. This was the group that had done the Humane Society. They were a pretty big group at the time, but I lost a lot when we went from 5th grade to 6th grade. What I love about the Silver Award is that you have, as a cadet, to me it's a blessing that you get 3 years to be a cadet, because I feel like your first year in middle school is such a huge transition and so much is going on in 6th grade. So I'm now in my 2nd run of this. I've done always my 6th grade year as just my fun year. We do a lot of community service. We try to do a lot of the service unit projects. And we just have a lot of fun. So we find things that are just cool to go and do. And then in the 7th grade year, when sort of any attrition, again, kind of has happened, we do our journey. So we really buckle down and we do, again, a lot of fun and community service, but that's when we're focusing on our journey. And then in our 8th grade year, we have our Silver Project. And it's just great, I think, that you get 3 years so that you get a little bit of fun in there. And now that I'm sort of in the 10th grade year, I'm feeling an enormous amount of pressure to get the journey done, and the girls are just 10 times more spoken for in terms of their activities. So finding the meeting time is impossible. But anyway, that being said, you in the Silver Award, you're no more than 4 people. We did decide to do it as a group, but it was much more girl-driven than leader-driven. In this particular case, this group was very focused on literacy. I had a connection through work with Reach Out and Read, so I made that connection for the girls, and then they met with them and learned about their literacy programs in Connecticut and the pediatric centers and after-school programs that have lending libraries. for children that just don't have access to having a ton of books at home. My girls in Darien were incredibly fortunate and blessed, and I think they understand that, twice a year they have book sales at school, and parents are just routinely dropping hundreds of dollars to buy new books, and their old books just sit on a shelf. And they understood through some research in towns in our surrounding community that children just don't have access to those resources. So we were able to partner with a community center one town over. We worked with their staff to really learn about their kids, their needs, their literacy levels. We read to the children during their after-school time. We then did a book collection for them, and we labeled all the books and categorized them, so it was a lot of work for the girls to do themselves. They then turned around and ran some meetings for some younger scouts and for the kids at the community center as well, to create storybooks. For $5, we bought some bookcases from the Boy Scout tag sale, and then we refurbished them. So it was a great kind of woodworking opportunity to strip them down and rebuild them and shore them up. And you can see there's the finished project. They came up with the idea to dip their hands in the paint. It was incredibly messy, and I just kind of, I really had to stand back and let my driveway and kitchen and everything be a mess and let them figure it out. But that was, again, sort of letting go and letting them decide what they wanted to do. And then they took the bookcases to the community center and got them all set up and worked with Reach Out and Read to continue to provision books. And they're really cute now that they're in 10th grade. They still will hear about the Boy Scout tag sale and say, oh, we should go the next day because they have all those free books, and we should make another run to the community center. So it's something that they're sort of keeping sort of at the forefront. So just a couple quick things that we've learned along the way. The younger girls are going to need more direction, and that's okay. It's looking for opportunities with the younger girls where you can let go. You're so used to, after being a Brownie leader, of running all their meetings and prepping everything from A to Z, and just finding those places where you can let them make decisions, go into small groups, come back with recommendations, and it might not be the way that you want to do it, but that's okay. It's the way they want to do it. Small little manageable tasks for them to do. A couple slides back, one of the things that we did was the girls, so what we decided to do, and this, I'm probably breaking every Girl Scout rule, and so, I always say you can go ahead and fire me, but the girls said we want to do a lemonade sale and a tag sale, and I want to sell my baby dolls, and they all wanted to do different things. And so what we said was, go ahead, go home, do your chores, do whatever you want. We want every girl to, the girls came up with what they wanted to donate. They thought that $20 was reasonable. And they said, what if we have each girl donate $20, and they can go and they can figure out how they want to earn that money themselves. So did I fill out an MEA form for every one of those girls? I'm going to admit that I didn't. So I'm sorry if I broke the rules. So I'm, begging for forgiveness after the fact, but it was more that they were choosing what to do on their own and making a donation, which we then put in our donation line. And then we obviously, for the big projects, we did those with the forms and the paperwork. I'm big on trying to connect to other skills and badges, so the sewing badge, which I don't even think exists anymore, but it did with my first Girl Scouts, so we did it then. Other badges skills, just like Claudine mentioned, extend the learning and the fun and take a little bit of heat off yourself for having to both do your award but also try to fill up those badges on their sashes. Projects should be meaningful, complement the passions of the girls. I'm struggling with this with my 10th graders who are trying to pick their gold awards. A couple of them just can't figure out what their passion is, and I said, don't do a project if you don't have a passion. As I said, we like doing the bronze award as a big group because it was easy. Here's one thing that I would add for the money earning activities. As Claudine mentioned, you have to participate in QSP and cookies, but our troop, our magazine sale for the middle school coincides with the Girl Scout magazine sale, and it just causes such angst and conflict for our middle school girls. So what we do is we just say, just do the middle school one. The parents have multiple kids, they just want to focus on that. And so what we do is we encourage, as a troop, we buy nuts and candy, and then we give it to those people that run a meeting for us. So that's our way of making sure that we do the QSP and we support it, but we don't go crazy. And again, probably shouldn't, got lots of Girl Scout higher ups that probably wouldn't be happy with that, but it appeases our parents and it makes us check all the boxes and do everything correctly. But it's unfortunate that it happens at exactly the same time, and you just can't possibly be selling magazines for two different organizations. It's just too complicated. So lastly, I would say by the time we got to our silver award, boy, those girls are busy. So we had a lot longer meetings. We tried to divide the tasks so they could do things on their own time. It's a lot of hours of work. I think it's like 80 hours is what you're supposed to get done. I definitely found it hard to let go of the organizing, and my style and the girls' styles were not the same. I have some really, like, I'll just do it at the last minute type of girls, and that's not my style, but I'm learning to let go, and I get a lot of support from my parents, and that's huge. Don't let these parents off the hook. You've got to give them all a very discrete, manageable task. Ask them to run a part of the meeting. Ask them to run the bake sale. And that's everything from making the posters with the girls to getting the cash that you're going to need that day as you change, to getting the tablecloths for the table. I mean, just push it off to your parents. You shouldn't, as a leader, be doing everything. And then just keep it really simple to have fun. You don't have to go too big or too complicated. Look for those organizations you can partner with. And I'm a big believer in hunt online. Read all those great Girl Scout things that are already posted. That's what I've been telling my girls for gold, is go online and read all these great projects and see if there's something that you hear that you like that you can adapt and use here in Darien. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Does anybody have any questions right now? If you do, feel free to type it in the question box, and we will answer it. If not, you can type it in later, and we can answer it later.
Melissa, there is one in the chat box, and the question is probably for Karen. Mentioned keeping track of the number of hours that the girls have to work on, especially for silver. How does she keep track of the hours that the girls spend doing the activities toward their silver award?
I used a spreadsheet so that as girls were doing individual tasks at home, if they were doing research, or I knew one girl had taken all these books home and she had labeled them and then brought them back because she was having trouble making the meeting. So we set aside a whole bunch of things for her to do. I just generally asked her, and then I kept a record of it in a spreadsheet. It's just a really easy way to track it.
Are there any other questions right now? If not, okay. It doesn't look like there's any other questions right now, but there might be later. So we'll just. So our next presenter tonight is Gail Myers. She lives in Suffield. She's married with 2 daughters, and she's been an adult Girl Scout since 1984. She was a Girl Scout leader for all levels from 1984 to 2012. She was a Girl Scout trainer from 1987 to 2009. She's a first aid trainer for the Red Cross. She was the service unit manager for Enfield from 1992 to 2010. She received the Thanks Badge in 1990 and received the Thanks To Badge in 2004. She has been a Gold Award mentor since 1997 until present day. And she is the chairperson and organizer of the annual GSFCT Mall Madness event in March. And she's the chairperson for the Hartford and Middletown Gold Award service area. And she will be talking to us tonight about the Gold Awards. So Gail, whenever you're ready.
Wow, that's pretty. She must be old, don't you think? I mean, look at those dates. Yes, I have been around for a while, and let me tell you, I just have to say, I was being muted. I muted myself, but Claudine and Karen, you guys are awesome. Just awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so glad they had you come on to this webinar to talk, because I just love your attitude about Girl Scouting. I was there. I mean, I've been kind of a little distant. I'm concentrating on certain areas because I'm getting old. but I still love it like you do. So continue, please continue, because you're doing good work. So enough with that. Now down to the Gold Award, which it does follow from the bronze and silver. The girls, as you said, Karen, are getting themselves equipped to get to the gold, which is, that's when they're on their own, actually. So, as you can see from the screen, on your screen here, the age requirement is 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. Basically, I'm going to say the same thing Karen said. In the beginning, when they just start out as seniors, 9th, 10th grade, especially 9th, let them get out there and enjoy. Let them get out there. Maybe they start working on their journey, but they're exploring. Because really, when they get to picking out their Gold Award project issue, if they've got that experience, if they've been out there seeing what's going on in their community, experiencing things, that's when they're going to know what they want to do. So prerequisites, again, just like with the MEAs, you have to have done certain things, in order to apply. For the Gold Award, you have to be a registered Girl Scout Senior or Ambassador, and also have completed either 2 of the journeys in that Senior or Ambassador level, or 1 journey and earn that Girl Scout Silver Award. So many of the girls have earned their Girl Scout Silver Award, I've noticed in all the applications I've processed, and they've done 1 journey. But you certainly could have a girl who maybe just joined, or maybe, I don't know, she was in cadets and she just wasn't getting into the whole Silver Award thing, but then she got all inspired when she got to seniors, so she can do 2 journeys, and that's certainly fine for the prerequisites. And then the very important Gold Award webinar. And the Gold Award webinar, I believe on the next screen, Melissa, is on the very top is the link. Maybe not. That might not be it. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm sorry. That's after the webinar. But the webinar, you can find the webinar schedule at gsofct.org right on your website. And you go to the Gold Award section, and there's a whole list of all the different webinar dates. And again, it's the same kind of thing we're doing right now. You can sit in your PJs if you want, in your bedroom with your computer, and watch the webinar. You could also set it up so that you're watching it with a few of your girls that are interested in going for the gold. Or the girls can certainly, and I think that would be advantageous to them, they set it up themselves. They apply for the, put in, register for the webinar, and then they sit and watch it and participate. So after the webinar, after they get that done, then they're going to be going to this website, which you can see right up on here. It's Go Gold Online. You're going to hear Go Gold, that's a tongue twister, a lot, because we as a council just started participating with this national online process for Gold Award applications. And it's been 2 years. We're still doing the guinea pig thing, trying things out. The whole nation was already converted. I think we were one of 2 states that kind of held out for a while. And we did finally consent to go along with the Go Gold Online. So the girls are doing everything in this app, and they just basically have to open it up, sign themselves up. And the new thing that just changed, actually, since I did this screen for you, Melissa, is that during the webinar now, the girls are actually going to be instructed by the person running the webinar from our council. I think it's Monica Stelmecker.
Yeah.
And she will be having the girls actually open up their own Gold Online account so that they can set it up, so that they're actually in there and they get their name in. It's basically like setting up an account with Amazon, or something. The girls have to put their name, their troop number, the town they're in, and so forth, and their leader's name, and they would like to get the girls started, because what they're doing now is they're going to ask the girls to actually apply with their plan and have the whole thing go through as a draft, and they have to put the big word draft on top when they put it into Go Gold Online, and then they get assigned a mentor. So you're going to look at my steps down here, and it still applies. If the girl's sitting there at this webinar and she says, oh my goodness, I don't even know what I want to do for my issue. I have an idea. She does not have to do anything at that point. If she just sets herself up and then exits out and saves her password, she can go back in, you know, in a week or in a couple days or whenever, and after she's really confirmed what she wants to do for her project, and then she can start putting the plan in. Choosing an issue is basically what Karen was talking about with the bronze and the silver. It's the same thing. The girl needs to do something that's passionate to her. And like I said, if she's out there in the world and looking at things and listening and asking questions, she's going to find something that is passionate. And she's, or maybe, and usually the girls I see that really have projects that have gone full circle and they've done real well with it, it's something very personal to them. So that's usually what, you know, what really does make it. Investigating. Then they need to find out, gee, is this a viable project? Is this okay to do? Am I going to have support? Am I going to be able to do this project? Am I going to have a big enough team or people to help me do this? And that's the next line there, getting help. That's all before they actually get that plan ready to put into the Go Gold Online. Now, when they're in this application, Go Gold, it asks you all the questions. It's basically filling in the blanks. It's going to ask the girl, you know, what's your issue, and you have to explain it. And it's going to say, who's your team? Who are you going to get to help you with it? What are you going to do for your plan? And again, what they're doing now after the webinar is the girl must put on top draft because she has not been assigned a mentor yet. Then once the plan is entered and it goes to council, then Monica Stelmacher will take that proposal, which is a draft. She'll send it to the chairperson of the area the girl lives in. So, okay, for instance, I am the chairperson of the Hartford Middletown area, so if a girl's in Vernon, Connecticut, I would get her Gold Award proposal. So the Gold Award proposal just gets emailed to me, and I would go out to my committee. And all the committees, they're all different sizes. We have a really nice big established committee here in Hartford Middletown, but I know they've got some other large ones down around the shore. I'm not sure exactly how many are in, you know, how many mentors are in each one, but we have some, you know, very experienced mentors in ours and a couple of new ones. And these women volunteer, as I do, to work with these girls on earning their Gold Award and, you know, advising them and being there for them. So I would put it out to them, and they would pick, you know, whoever is available, look at their schedules, look at the project. They would pick the plan if they thought they could, you know, go along with this girl and meet with her and go through the whole process if it's in their schedule. So then I go back to the girl, I email her, and I let her know who her mentor is. So that's the exciting part of this process, is that this is going to be a girl working on her own with the assistance of a Girl Scout adult Gold Award mentor, but also with the assistance of a person that she's going to sign on as her technical advisor. And that is also explained in the whole process when they go online. And that person can be anyone from, it could be a teacher, it could be it could be a business associate or someone that has something to do with her issue and that's really going to be helping her along. And so that's what she's going to be doing when she meets with that mentor. So then once everything's gone through, she takes her action there, the approval of the plan gets approved, you know, once everything's okay. And then she works on the project. She keeps track of the timeline. We were talking about that, keeping track of the hours and the budget, any monies that she makes or spends. And then she will be doing, when she completes her project, she'll do a final report. And that's all done online with the same Go Gold Online, that same website up there. I think you can go to the next page now. Okay. Melissa had asked me to tell you about examples of Gold Award projects, because I think sometimes that's the frustrating part for a girl at this point in high school. What do I do? What's good? What's okay? I'm going to give you some examples because I did pull some out for you, but communication, that top line there, that top bullet is so important, because if the girl stays in touch with her Gold Award mentor all through the process, and that's either by email, however they decided it was going to be. It could be via text messages, Facebook messages, whatever vehicle the girls decide to use, phone calls, to stay in touch, because we're there for the girls, all of us, so much. I mean, we really want the girls to succeed and to really get a lot out of their whole project and learn, and and then be able to educate others. So communication is so important with your Gold Award mentor, and that's going to help the girl formulate the whole project too. If she's feeling frustrated, she's hitting roadblocks, that mentor's there for her. Another very important part of their award project, and this is what I stress to every girl I meet with, is two pieces: leadership. The leadership portion, I know all your girls, you've talked about it with Claudine did with the MEAs. I love that, getting the girls all involved and learning how to take the leadership role, and the same thing with the bronze and silver. I think Girl Scouts, that's us. We're all leaders. We're just making leaders with these girls. We're helping them become leaders. So that's so important with this project, that it's not a stay alone. It's not a one-person project. You're going to have teamwork, and I usually tell the girls, liken it to a production of a movie. You're going to be the producer and director of that whole award, and you're going to have your actors, you're going to have your people that are performing with you, for you, workers, you're going to have people that you bring in from outside, maybe from your troop. That's who's going to help you make sure that that project comes to fruition and it comes to your goal. And at the end, evaluation is reaching your goal. In other words, making sure that as you go through the process, you're watching what you've done, what your timeline looked like. Are you on track? If you're off track, call your Gold Award mentor, contact your Gold Award mentor. What do I do now? I'm really off track. Or I need to have another couple months, and they'll work it out with you. And I find that that's the hardest thing from my side and from all the other mentors, that we don't always get that feedback from the girls at this point. So for you leaders out there of girls in high school, definitely we need your support to make sure the girls are in touch with their Gold Award mentor when they get assigned. So examples, let's see, what do we have here? Actually, one thing I was going to tell you, and I did print them out just so I could look at them because it looks so pretty. On the Gold Award section of the Girl Scouts of Connecticut website, it's beautiful. There's a big picture of all the girls. At the end of the year, we celebrate every girl who earned a Gold Award every year in June, the first week of June. And they always do a nice big group shot, and they have all the girls' names listed from last year, and they have all the former years too. It goes back quite a ways. And we basically make a yearbook every year. The girls have to fill out a biography after they finish their project. So the girl's face is there, her town is there, so you can see the area she lives in, especially if you're looking, from Darien, Connecticut, or you're looking from Enfield all the way up the top of the state. You can kind of see, oh, gee, look at the girls. These are the kind of things they did around my area. And the girls' project is outlined right there. So that's all on the website. Some of the projects that I found that have just amazed me are girls that started out. They were just a small little idea, one small little idea, and then as they developed through their project, as they kept working, as they kept networking with all the people that worked with them, it just snowballed. It just blossomed and ballooned, and I've seen that happen at the final interview, which is the best part of every Gold Award project. One of them was a girl who she just earned it this year, and it was called the Unified Music and Movement. And this was all about teaching special education students in elementary school about music. And she said that in her school system, they really weren't allowed. They weren't allowed in the their concerts or any other kinds of things that they were doing with music, and she was passionate about music. So there's her passion. She loved music, and she was very skilled in, writing music and so forth. So she took on, and she worked with a special education teacher there at this elementary school in this town, and she went for it. And oh my goodness, she just blossomed because it just kept growing and growing, and she affected that. She went to the actually the superintendent of schools in that town, and she said, you really need to change your plans here. I couldn't believe it. She told me that. She went and she had her presentation ready. She went to the superintendent. She said, here, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing in the school. I think this should be done in all the schools. What a voice. Oh, my goodness. Isn't that great? I mean, these girls, they have the voice. They really do. They just need to have the encouragement and to have the vehicle, which is, the Gold Award. So, like I said, if you want to get some more ideas for projects, I think the best way would be to go online and check all those projects because they're all there, they're all outlined, and that would help. That would help a lot. So now we're to the role of the troop leader and advisor, and that's you, who I'm talking to, I assume. I think a lot of you out there, right, who are attending this leader to leader webinar, is we need your encouragement. Basically, if you meet every month, or I know when they get into high school, you might not meet that often at all. I don't know how you meet. You might even meet through, maybe an online talk session, or, or you just email each other. Maybe just say, okay, if, if Kayla Johnson is doing her project, she's working on it, she got assigned a mentor, just say, hey, Kayla, how you doing? You've been talking to your mentor lately? How is your project going? That's all it takes. Just a little reminder. Oh, yeah, okay, and just get a little feedback. Your role is not to, advise them or let them, know what they can change, because they're going to tell you that. So no, I have to talk to my mentor, which, makes that whole process appropriate. But we just want to make sure that they feel like, they've got a, rah-rah team behind them. And their awareness of the project timeline, and like I said, with the reminders to contact us, is just, that would just be so helpful. And it would helpful to the girl, because I actually have 8 girls in our area, in which we're really excited and proud of, who had awesome projects, and they just earned them in September. They are freshmen in college, all 8 of those girls. So they're going to celebrate in June. Awesome. They're going to get all their awards, be on stage, clap. It's going to be great. They've done great projects, but they just couldn't seem to get going. Couldn't seem to connect. Couldn't, they had college things going on. Just so you know, that is the absolute deadline. It's September 30th, which when you register. It's October 1st to September 30th every year. So a girl is still officially a Girl Scout up till September 30th of her high school year, her senior year. So once she turns, once she turns the next age, if she happens to be 18 already, if she's turning 19, it doesn't matter. But if she's a senior in high school and she graduates that September 30th, this is the very last time she can finish up her project. So we do have girls that end up going over the deadline. The normal deadline to get in for the year that you're still in school is April 1st. So we do have some deadlines. It's all outlined in the online process they have to go through with the Go Gold. But April 1st is the deadline for girls for this year, and September 30th for next year. So they can go over, and I have a lot of girls that do. And a lot of it is just that they get stuck. They get hung up. They're not sure, where they should go, and a lot of it is just not contacting the Gold Award mentor. So I'm so glad that I have this opportunity to really stress that to leaders, to stress to the girls that, we're there for them. We absolutely are there for them. So once they get assigned, then they should, should stay in touch. And I'm just going to say, I don't know, I forgot to tell you, Melissa, but I go to all the award ceremonies for my area, the pinnings, and I have met leaders whose girls were thinking about it, and I gave them my business card, And they've contacted me when they've had some frustration. So I have no problem with that, getting emails from any of these leaders. And you can advertise my email address. No problem.
Oh, thank you.
With that, because
nice
I
of
would
you.
love, yeah, I would love to keep that. No, definitely. So whenever you send this out, you can actually, add my email address, because I would like to make sure that no one is getting left behind, that kind of, no child left behind, no Girl Scout Gold Award achiever left behind.
Thank you. That's great. Does anybody have any questions?
Can I just do the last thing I forgot? I asked
Yes.
you about it, Mall
Yes.
Madness. I know I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Melissa.
That's okay.
Mall Madness is happening at the Enfield Square, and one thing about it, I asked her, can I advertise it, because I know it doesn't get advertised all the time, but it's an awesome event. We take over the entire mall. It's to celebrate the Girl Scout birthday. It's March 11th, 2017. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Booths all over the mall, all kinds of stuff going on. Actually our theme is Sisterhood of the Traveling Girl Scouts this year. It's all about, girls taking trips and going on, field trips and so forth. But we also have about 5 Gold Award projects and 2 silver, and I think there's a bronze. So these girls who have earned these awards are coming to the small event, and they're showing off. Let me tell you, it's awesome. They're going to have their tables there, their booths set up so they can show and let the public know exactly what Girl Scouts are doing, and all their roles of leadership. So please, if you can, mark your calendars for March 11th and come on up. Thanks.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Gail about the Gold Award? If so, you can put them in the question box. We'll see if we get any. In the meantime, I'm just going to give some additional updates. So I just want to say that there is a recorded silver webinar on our YouTube channel. So if you do want to learn a little more about the Silver Award, you can refer to that. Also, we have a bunch of Gold Award webinars that you can sign up for. The 4 next ones happen to be it's February 19th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We have March 13th, 7 to 9 p.m., March 19th, 7 to 9 p.m., and April 11th, 7 to 9 p.m. So, but there's many more, so if you're interested in taking those, feel free to sign up. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but to end today,
So I do have a question. I'm sorry,
sure.
It's Claudine. I wasn't able to possibly type the question in the right area.
Okay.
Is it okay for me to ask my question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right. I know that, oh, I'm sorry. I see a response. Never mind.
What, did you have a question for me? Or?
Oh, it looks like you guys were in the chat box, not in the question box. That's okay. Do you want to ask your question, or?
Yeah, so I hear from a lot of high school troop leaders that the girls get really busy with like SAT prep and sports and all that goes into high school, and it's really difficult to get them together. So I was planning ahead. My girls are only in 7th grade, but just kind of thinking ahead, I was saying, they're going to do their Silver Award as cadets. And I was wondering, is there any possibility that the girls could complete their Gold Award in 9th grade?
No. Actually, I see somebody wrote, and I'm not sure who wrote that, they said there's really no way for the girls to complete their journey and their Gold Award in 9th grade. Exactly, because I don't know if I didn't really mention it, because a lot of those details are online in the Gold references. There's all kinds of different reference sheets on our Gold website, but 80 hours plus. So girls do about 100 hours, okay? And that's after they have to do the journey. So that's a whole, and the journey takes a while. That takes a few months, as you know. And then after that, then they have to figure out what their project is. They have to watch the webinar. Then it's going to take a while. Everything's a process. It could be up to 6 weeks before they actually get their project in and as mentor assigned, and they actually can sit down with the mentor and go over their project. So they have to plan for like about a year. So really, ninth grade, I've never seen a girl earn it in ninth grade. So, you know, the process the way it is now. Sophomore maybe, if they really worked it and they really got going right away in ninth grade. But most of the girls I see starting are juniors, and that seems to be, pretty comfortable, like I said. And the girls that dragged it out for this year, those 8 girls I told you about, they actually have started as juniors. So they just, I don't know, they just got busy. They just kind of.
Yeah, I would say, Gail, this is Karen. I'm the one who typed that response, and I'm just starting my Gold Award. My girls are, finishing their 10th grade. They just finished their journey. They're just about to do the webinar. I couldn't agree more. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second and say, Girl Scouts has to be high on the list of something that a girl wants to do. I think that it is a real cop-out when we hear these girls. They all want to get it. They want to check the box. They want it on their resume for college. But why is it not as important as confirmation at church or your lacrosse playoff or anything else? If the girl is motivated and really wants it and wants to do it, then she should do it just as well as if she's doing anything else, and not try to rush it so she can fit in lacrosse or soccer or the drama play or whatever. So, sorry, that's my 2-minute.
No,
Girl Scouts should be high on the list.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I agree with you completely.
It's Kari. I want to jump in and say, I think too sometimes leaders have to realize that not every girl, you might have had every girl involved in bronze and in silver, but gold is a totally different thing, and the girls really have to want to do it. And so it's not a reflection on your ability to motivate and excite them. I mean, really, sometimes I worry that leaders feel that every girl in their troop needs to do it, and that's really not the case. Their Girl Scout experience is different for each one of them, and gold.
Kari, I don't think we can hear you.
Needs to be a priority for them to get it done. So, as the leader, I would say, don't be disappointed if you don't have if everybody participated in gold. That's okay, because their Girl Scout experience is important to them, and they each are going to experience it differently. But this is real. The girl has to be motivated to finish. She really does. She's got to take it on and make it a priority, just exactly as Karen said. It's got to be something she wants to do, and her family should be supportive. I mean, it takes. Yes, the leader is important, but everybody, has to rally behind it. And from a council perspective, one of the big things that I can say we see a lot is girls that wait to the last minute and then try to reach out and can't get things done because it hasn't been a priority. So making sure you're clear and you share with them so that they know what the expectations are, I think that's the best job that you can do, and encourage them as a leader, but the girl really has to want to do it. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents about what often we see. And I keep telling leaders, it doesn't matter that only one girl in your troop did gold, and I don't want leaders ever to feel that they weren't successful. If they've got girls that have participated in Girl Scouting all the way through their high school career, that's fantastic, and they've had a great experience and learned so much. And they shouldn't feel that they were any less effective in their role as a troop leader if all of their girls don't earn gold. So just want to add that in.
Terry, thank you, because I tell people all the time, they ask me, oh, you have 2 daughters? Oh, I bet they got their gold, right? Well, no, neither one of them did, and they were actually, they could have if they wanted to. They had actually the second daughter more than the first, because I wasn't as involved then, but they're living the gold right now. What they're doing in their adult lives is Gold Award work. And it's all because of all the years they had, and then goes back to kindergarten, just like you said, all the years of Girl Scouting, what it's taught them, the leadership, the compassion, you know, the community service, everything is there. And when we have to, and I have to send out, and it's sad, you know, sad to say, but I do, I have to send out quite a few withdrawal letters to girls as the chairperson, and that's exactly what we say. It's almost a quote from what you said, Carrie, that, you know, you should be so proud of all the years you've had in Girl Scouting, and that you are going to do great things in your life. And, you know, it doesn't have to be the Gold Award. So thank you for saying that.
Does anybody
That's
else?
great feedback. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other comments or questions that they'd like to make before we end tonight? Well, if not, I just wanted to say that we'd really appreciate your feedback or ideas for next time. So if you'd like to give us suggestions or tell us something that you liked about this webinar or ways we can improve, please email program@gsfct.org with leader to leader in the subject, and let us know what you think. And if everyone's, if no one else has any other questions, I think we can end tonight. Is everyone good?
Just want to say thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's Kari. Claudine, Karen, Gail, you guys were terrific. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and expertise. It was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Guys,
Good luck to all the leaders that came on. It's a testament to you that you're taking the time to just keep the program going.